Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another pickup video. The lad's still up here, a couple more days left, today and tomorrow, and then he disappears back to Stevenage to get on with normal life, and I go back to work, and then I go see him hopefully in a couple of weeks time down at Stevenage, which is cool. And then we're in October, and then hopefully he's coming up in October to go to for the Love of Horror convention, and I'll go back with him for a few days down at Stevenage as well. So hopefully we can have a couple of weeks together in October. We'll probably have a nice long weekend together in September. So there's a lot going on, and obviously Christmas around the corner, so there's a lot going on. Anyway, I'm diverging away from what I'm here for. Yeah, we went back into Bradford today because it's new release day. So we went in to see if there's any sort of new releases out today, because there was a couple that the lad was interested in. Unfortunately, one of them, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, which is only available in 4K sort of collector's edition at the moment, they didn't have it. They said they didn't even get any in stock. So they obviously, but some HMVs are like that. They don't tend to collect or get collector's editions. It's going to be down to whatever the head office will think that's will sell there and there sort of thing. So maybe they probably thought, well, we don't sell too many horror movies there, so we don't need to send it. But anyway, unfortunately, they didn't have that. But they did have the other one. So these are my lad's pickups first. He picked up 3 movies. I picked up 3 movies. He picked up this, which is out today. Really cool. On Second Sight, a collector's edition in 4K of Ti West film The Innkeeper. This is a haunting sort of film, like a haunted sort of house kind of film. I think it's a pub. It's obviously a haunted pub by old people that have worked or lived there. And I've got this, but I got the Blu-ray. Do you remember? And I did my pickup video, and I bought it for £2.99. My Blu-ray, it's in there somewhere. Yeah, I see it next to Insidious. So I've got the £2.99, but he's got this extremely posh, expensive collector's edition, which is, I'm sure it's going to be awesome. As you can see, it's got art cards, it's got the movies, and it's got like, looks like a hardback book in a hard case. What's that? So yeah, really cool. So neither of us have seen this, so hopefully we'll get some sort of views together on it and see if we both sort of like it. But yeah, it's a really cool set. It's strange sort of covering on this. Normally they have their, it's tight, but this is kind of loose. It's almost like it's a last minute sort of thought, their packaging on it. I actually like it when it's really tight, because I think it's protecting your things a bit more, because that can move about a little bit. But there we go. Innkeepers out today on 4K and Blu-ray from Second Sight. Great to see them release something. They've been quite sparse this year on releases. Last year they had loads. If you remember my top 10 physical media releases of 2024, I think there were at least 4 or 5 of them in there were at Second Sight. But this year, I think I've only got one going in the top 10, which will be The House of the Devil. Right, let's carry on. My lab also bought, which I believe to be like a sort of crime, street crime, sort of maybe gangster movie starring Robert De Niro, called the Alto Knights. It's a story based in New York. Let's have a little look. Let me get my Jim Royal glasses on and my Peaky Blinders cap. So I'm with it. I'm with it. Okay. The Alto Knights follows 2 of New York's most notorious organised crime bosses, so gangsters. Frank Costello, not Elvis Costello, and Vito Genovese, and how their separate paths to power place them on a deadly collision course, inspired by a true story of the mob boss who brought about the downfall of the American mafia. Sounds quite interesting. So he'll love that. At the moment, he's so into, and it's a good price, he's so into gangster stuff at the moment. I think because he's been playing a few games, he got a new game on the PlayStation called Mafia, which was like about the Mafia, and he's finished that, and he's now playing through the old Mafia sort of trilogy that's available. So he's working his way through that. So he's been watching the films, and I think he bought the Godfather films, and he watched them, and he's enjoyed them. So he's going through a bit of a gangster. But to be honest, he's always been into it. But mostly the Japanese gangsters with the yakuzas and stuff like that. But now he's going into the family business. he's loving the Italian inspired Mafia. So that's cool. So yeah, he picked up that. So there's a fly flying around. I was just watching it. I get distracted in by a fly. That's crazy. And last but not least, he picked up was a Spanish giallo film, because not all giallos are Italian. The majority of them are, but other countries were obviously influenced by Italy and their giallos, and other countries started to make some. And this is an Spanish one, which I've reviewed on my channel, and I bought ages ago, and I think I gave it a 9 or a 10 out of 10 because I loved it. And it's a Candle for the Devil. Really cool film. It's about these two women, that one there and that one there, and they run this sort of like hotel, and they keep getting visitors there. And when they get a woman that's sort of cladly dressed, or looks a bit sort of like not a loose woman as such, or a bit of a floozy or whatever, they end up killing them. And to dispose of their bodies, they sort of cut their bodies up, and they sort of put it in the food and in the wine and stuff like that, and feed it to their customers. So it's a very cool film. It's a Giallo Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, but no, it's a really good film. It's really cool, and it's got some quite cool deaths in there. I really enjoyed the film, and it is available from I think it's on 88 Film. Really cool, and it's out for a good price at the moment. It will probably go in sales at some point as well, so keep your eyes out if you want to pick it up. I'm sure I've still got my copy. I'll be with me 88 Films over there. But yeah, anyway, really cool film. A Candle for the Devil. Yeah, really cool. So that was my lads' pickups. Candle for the Devil, the Altar Knights, and the Innkeepers. So he's got a good variety there. He's got a haunting, conjuring-y kind of film, with a gangster film, and a Spanish giallo. So he done really well. So my pickups. Right, the first pickup is a film that I've been after for a long time, and I'm sure I've seen it when I was young, but I've got very vague memories of it, and I never sort of got round to picking it up on VHS or DVD. But it is available on Blu-ray. I'm not sure if it's available on 4K, but it's available on Criterion Blu-ray. So I tend to avoid Criterion because they make the most amazing films and amazing transfers. They're really cool. It's the prices, and they put me right off. We bought like the Godzilla box sets, and they were like £150 each. That's £300 on 2 box sets. My lad bought a few weeks ago, he bought The Irishman, and that was a steep price, and this was a steep price, but I bit the bullet, and I thought I'm going to go for it because it's a film I've always wanted in my collection. And it's from the late great David Lynch, and it's Eraserhead. So I know this is a real sort of fucked up kind of film, but it's also a very beautiful looking and amazing film. And it wasn't cheap. It was 25 quid for a film, but it's a Blu-ray. It would have been nice if it was a 4K, but we'll have a little look. We will open it. Nurse, where's the scissors? Right, so I'm going to open this. Yeah, I've been wanting to get hold of this for a while, but something else always comes up, and I think, you know what, I'll get that instead, and then I never end up buying it. But today I thought, you know, we're out and about, and I was umming and ahhing with the lad about getting this or something else, so I ended up getting both of the things I wanted to get. So I'm just taking off the cellophane, trying to preserve some of it if I can, just because it's got stickers on it at the moment. And I haven't had a chance to take them off, so fingers crossed. I've got the cellophane off. Yeah, so this is David Lynch, who I believe sadly passed away this year. And this is like an iconic kind of cult film. There we go. So I've managed to keep the sort of cellophane on it, just to give it that extra protection. So yeah, that's really cool. So it comes in some nice artwork there. This is a black and white film, made in 1977. This came out. The disc just fell out straight away. So it comes with the packaging. There's the film there on Blu-ray. You've got to push it in the middle for it to come out, and it's got like a little picture there of an empty bed, and there's the disc on Blu-ray. It's £25 for that. It does seem a little bit much, but it does come with a book, Eraserhead book, with photographs and stuff on the film. Just flicking through it just in case there's anything there I shouldn't be showing anybody. But yeah, it's just got like making of kind of photos behind the scenes, and looks like sort of interviews in the book with people from in the film. Yeah, this looks like a novel really, doesn't it? It's really, really cool. Behind the, again, more behind the scene shots, which is nice, because sometimes when you get booklets and they've just got pictures from the film, it's like, we don't really need pictures of the film, you know, especially if it's got art cards as well. I mean, this doesn't, but it's good to have actual just behind the scenes sort of pictures. But it is quite a nice sort of thick book, because I thought the packaging was quite weighty for what it is. Bit weird design packaging for an expensive item, because there's no pocket there to keep the book in. So you just place the book on there like that, and then you just fold it over and it will go in like that. So it's weird, but I find their packaging a little bit like that Criterion, but their films are really good. They have great transfers, so I avoid them because they're pricey, you know. So it's a treat to get one. So there we are, Eraserhead on Blu-ray, David Lynch's Eraserhead. 1977, his debut film. There's a little write-up, and there's quite a few special features on there, which obviously I'll have a look at. I will review this on my channel. Really cool. So next up is a bit of an oddball, if you pardon the pun. This is a new release from Severin, and it's called Odd Job. Now, this is a British comedy from the 1970s, starring Graham Chapman of Monty Python and David Jason of Open All Hours and Only Fools and Horses. It's a British sort of black comedy, and it wasn't cheap either. It's released from Severin, so it's a bit of a strange release for them, but it's cool to have. The synopsis of the film, it looks a little bit like there's a guy who's, I think, breaking up or whatever with his wife, and he's getting suicidal, and he's getting one of his friends, played by David Jason, to kill him because he can't kill himself. But his wife comes back or something, and it sort of goes into a little farcical. It does say a very funny 70s British comedy, well worth watching for Python fans. Now, I'm a huge Monty Python fan, and so it's really, really cool to get that. Absolutely amazing. I will be doing a Monty Python week soon. I do plan to it. I've got a few, go through some of their movies that I want to go through, because they've just released this week on 4K and on Blu-ray, Monty Python Holy Grail Anniversary Edition. But I have the 40th edition, the collector's edition, shaped like a castle. But I'll get to that when I get to review it. So it's supposed to be a little bit sort of like a Monty Python sort of film. The utter silliness complements the deep black humour quite well. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a daft comedy. So that's going to be a bit of an eccentric sort of wacky sort of film to get. But it's written by Graham Chapman anyway, who is from the Monty Python crew, and it stars David Jason. So I thought, well, I omened it, but I said to the lad, can't really leave that on the shelf because it just sounds my sort of thing, you know. But yeah, that's cool, and that's a Severin release of The Odd Job. Bit of an oddball. And last but not, oh, hello, little boy. You're laying on my film, darling. It's not Mark, it's the dog. Okay, I wouldn't talk to it. I do talk to him like that. Hey, my little baby. He's got his little paws crossed. Look, Mark. You see it? Look. He's got his little paws crossed like that. Like when you sit down and cross your legs. Sullivan's doing that. Now, the last bit I picked up was to finish off a collection of mine that I've been collecting over the past year. It all started a couple of years back when I bought a box set called Universal Monsters. And it contained the classics. It had Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Dracula, Wolfman, Invisible Man, I think the Mummy's in there, and it has the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and it has, I think, the Phantom of the Opera. Anyway, they released that box set, but subsequently to that, they released individual box sets. And I've been collecting them all. And I picked up the very last one today, and it was of the Dracula films. This was my last one to get because, to be honest, they're my least favourite out of the Universal Monsters. I know the classic, Bela Lugosi is fantastic, but it wasn't one that I was dying to sort of pick up. And it went out of print. And I just think, oh my God, these have gone out of print already. But they went out of print for, I don't know, for not too long, because now it's got released again this week. This was a new release from this week. I know you're thinking, but it's been out ages. Yes, it was, but it went out of print. They stopped putting them out, and they still stocked them in the shops, but this Dracula one wasn't there. But it's come back out this week. The Dracula one. They must have just, I don't know, sold out of them and just thought we haven't printed anymore, so it's gone out of print. So they re-released it again. And it was $24.99 with 6 movies in it. So I have the Frankenstein, I have the Wolfman, I have the Mummy, I have the Creature, I have the Invisible Man. Have I missed anybody out? I don't think so. So the Creature, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Wolfman, Invisible Man, and now Dracula. So I've managed to pick up the last one in the set. So let's have a little look, tell you what films are on it. So it has Dracula, of course, the 1931 film, or 1930. Dracula's Daughter, The Son of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Now, I don't know if any of these cross over with my Frankenstein box. I'm going to have a little quick look to see if it crosses over with any of them. Down, cross, that's it. Keep going, keep going, keep going there. Let me have a little look. So this is my Frankenstein. I think because they were in boxes like that, they just went out of print. So now they're like this. Let's have a look, see if any of these cross on here. It sounds like they might. Bride of Frankenstein, let's have a look. Son of Frankenstein, Son of Dracula, The Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets Wolfman, House of Frankenstein. So the House of Frankenstein's on both of these. House of Dracula is on both of these. And Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein are on both of these. So I've only got 3 films on there because the other 3 are on here. That's irritating, right? Absolutely irritating. Yeah, this one's got 8 movies, that one's got 6. Yeah, it's great, but what they could have done, they know that it's on there, so the 3 that are on there, they could have just taken off, put it out at a cheaper rate, right? Put it out $14.99, whatever, you know. But no, we'll stick those same films on there and we'll charge £25, you know. But there we go. We'll open it anyway. So what I thought was a good deal actually isn't a good deal. But there we go. I've now completed the whole sets. And to be honest, it's actually quite nice to get it, just because it looks a bit weird that I've got all those and not this one. But I believe they released a huge box set on 4K with all of them on there, like every sort of film of these Universal monsters. I think Horror Hands has got that. I'm sure he has, but it's quite pricey and I never picked it up, so I've got them all individually but on Blu-ray. I'm just taking off the wrapper, guys. Oh, oh. That's that off. Oh. Put that in the bin. Oh. So here it is. Really cool. Won't come with any booklet. It comes with the same edition that's in the Monster box set of Dracula, because I can tell it's the same front. So it's exactly the same. So, and I've already got that. So in fact, I've only got 2 movies out of this set, which are both on this disc here. All I need is that disc. Dracula's Daughter and The Son of Dracula, which is on that disc. This disc has the 2 films that are in the other set, The House of Frankenstein and The House of Dracula. Why have they put that on there? House of Frankenstein. Keep that on to the Frankenstein one. Take the House of Dracula off the Frankenstein one. Crazy, right? And the Abbott and Costello one is also the same one that is in the other set. So, but it's okay. I've completed my collection. Thinking about it now, I'm a little bit gutted. I probably wouldn't have picked that up, to be honest. I would have just think, sod it, I would just won't own those 2 Dracula films. But if you're a completist, I can understand why you do it. I'm not a completist. I'm a collector, but I'm not a completist. I don't care if I don't have every single movie. You know, like Hammer. They've got so many films out. I don't care if I haven't got all of them. It's more fun when you don't, because then when you come across one, it's more exciting. You know what I mean? To actually grab something that's been out of your grip or touch for a long time. And I think that's I'd rather that than be a collector, of like being a completist. There are some things I would complete, but that's only because I've got them in the set, like The Conjuring. I've got all the Conjuring films because they're in one box set, you know. There was a couple not in there, The Nun 2, which I've bought individual, and that film that's not anything to do with it, but it sort of appears within the universe, called La Lula? What's it called? The Curse of La... Oh, I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, but I've got them all, so I'm a completist when it comes to The Conjuring. I so nearly brought that today, guys. It came out today on 4K, and I was so tempted. And when I look back now, what would I have chosen between this and The Conjuring? I would have definitely have picked The Conjuring, I think, because I said it just feels a little bit of a rip-off, really, when you think, hang on, Joff, you've got Dracula in your Monsters box set, you've got 1, 2, 3 of the other films in your Frankenstein box set, and there's just 2 movies on there that you don't have, which if you shopped around, I could have probably picked up on DVD or something and had them all. But there we go. I'm not going to complain because I've completed my box set. So I will, this October in Halloween month, be doing a Universal Monsters week. I also think they're doing a top 20 of my favourite horror genres, in sort of like my least favourite genre up to my favourite genre in horror films, you know, folk horror. So I'll be getting around to do that as well, top 10 of that. So that'd be cool. So they were my pickups today. Finally, my collection, Eraserhead. Finally, my collection, finishing off the collection of the Universal Monsters with the Dracula set and the quirky little Odd Job with Graham Chapman and David Jason. So they were our pickups. Cheers, guys.